Hello. This is the 6th video in our history of the town hall and the town of Mont Vernon. In our last video, we learned that Mont Vernon, like most every small town in New Hampshire, had to separate the concerns of the church from the concerns of the town. To comply with state law, the Meetinghouse was moved across the road to land that was not public. But there was more that needed to be done before the split between the two entities was complete. Today, we will take another look at the changes our town hall experienced during that extensive renovation back in 1837. Recall the year 1780. When 30 or so families of rebellious farmers in Amherst's northwest corner resorted to constructing their own church rather than continuing to worship with the Tories in Amherst Village. Land for that purpose was donated to the newly formed parish by Lieutenant James Woodbury. The lieutenant had worked for the Narragansett Tract proprietors, surveying the newly granted land. For his work, he was paid 1 square mile of land. Since he was one of the first to assess the area, he must have had a well-informed idea of where to pick. And what a pick! The square mile he chose now encompasses the village of Mont Vernon. In 1767, Mr. Woodbury built a log cabin on his land. Then he constructed the farmhouse we now know as the Hearthstone nearby. 13 years later, Lieutenant James Woodbury was in the perfect position to donate land for the new Meetinghouse. He also donated land for the burial ground. We now know it as Green Lawn Cemetery. In the last video, we used the Fremont Meetinghouse to help us imagine what the Second Congregational Church of Amherst would have looked like. Annoyingly, the only details the Victorian historians included in our 1907 history of the town is that the original building had 2 porches, and that there was some sort of gallery, and that yellow paint was used on the outside. But just how tall the building was, or if the gallery inside ran along all 3 walls, or where the exterior doors were located, these details are a giant mystery to us as we record this. For now, we will continue to frame the Fremont Meetinghouse in our heads as we picture our town hall as it was first made. Hey, look! Someone drew up a proportional sketch of what it may have looked like when the Meetinghouse was finally finished in 1792. Phew, it doesn't look anything like our town hall today, but it looked more or less like this for the first 45 years of its existence. But now it is 1837. Time to get this thing ready to cross the road. There go the 2 porches. Now the building is being jacked up, supported, and moved somehow across Mont Vernon's Main Street, off of public property. Rather than set it back down, they built a supported frame under it, creating what they called a basement, with space for town functions like selectmen's meetings and a vestry for the minister. Since the porches were removed, they needed a new place for stairs to get the churchgoers up to the 2nd floor sanctuary. An addition called a narthex was put on the east end. It served as the main entrance containing 2 sets of stairs, and it supported a bell tower. Let's take a gander at this photo of what the building looked like on the outside before its next big renovation in 1897. While it looks a lot more like the building we know today, there are several differences. Notice there are 2 front doors and there is no clock. We actually have a photo of the interior of the sanctuary. It would have been taken before 1897 as well. In it, we can see a raised pulpit on the east end of the room. On either side, there are doors leading to the narthex. All the pew boxes faced the pulpit and the doors, so everyone could notice churchgoers who were late to the service. Can you see the doors to the pew boxes? I wonder if these were the same ones used in the original building. The newly renovated Meetinghouse was furnished with a bell and an organ, but it didn't need a chimney until 1843, when the first wood stove was installed. We can just see the stovepipe going off to the right in this photo. For 66 winters, churchgoers attended those long Sunday services without any heat. Back in 1837, clear expectations as to the use and maintenance of the Meetinghouse were legally defined. Listen to this.
Number 1. The town will unite with the Congregational Society in this place in new bottling the Meetinghouse. Number 2. 1/2 the ground floor of said Meetinghouse will be operated for a town hall.
Number 3. The town will furnish the town hall appropriated for their use, and they will sustain the roof of said house, making all repairs which may be required from time to time.
Number 4. The Congregational Society will be at the expense of all alterations, excepting that what pertains to the town hall. They will sustain the body of said house, making all the repairs which may be required from time to time. And that the said Congregational Society have sole control of said house, excepting the town hall, for the transaction of town business. Number 5. The town will choose an agent to convey their right or interest in the Meetinghouse to the Congregational Society, reserving the right to the town agreeable to the votes. And so it is written in law and in our 1907 town history.
As the church and town peacefully and separately coexisted for the next 60 years, the Meetinghouse itself fell into disrepair. The first renovation brought the town into compliance with state law, but renovation only lasts so long. And so it came to pass that the religious and civic heart of the town was looking pretty shabby for the many Gilded Age city dwellers that began frequenting our town in the mid-1800s. More about those folks and the next big chapter for our little town coming up in the following video. See you then.